this video, I'm going to explain how to change out the chrome front bumper on this 2012 Nissan Frontier 4x4 SL. The SL usually comes with a chrome rear bumper, chrome door handles, and also chrome mirrors. This was an easy switch out. It's 4 bolts for the bracket, or it's 4 bolts for the bumper itself. So it's a very simple change up. Up front, the SL usually comes with a chrome emblem and chrome grille. Those have been changed out and painted as well on this one. So this video is just going to talk about just how to replace the upper bumper and the lower bumper with a single plastic bumper that's found on the SV and the Pro 4X. Let's take off, let's get started. We're going to get started to prep this front plastic bumper. If you buy one of these bumpers off eBay or Amazon or Nissan dealership, it's not going to come with a couple of the items that are required for this bumper to go on. A couple items are the structural pieces here, this black plastic piece. You'll need 2 of those. That's the Nissan model number. They're about 20 bucks a piece. The other structural item came off of the old upper bumper, and this piece is right here. I actually ended up already attaching it, but it's pretty much a swap. Remove the rivets on the old bumper and just put it in with new rivet there. A couple of the other items that you'll need is the fog light housing. This is the old one down here. I had to buy new lights and the housing and a whole kit. The kit was like $40, but all I really need is this black plastic bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse the old lens and put it in the new bracket. The other item that you'll need is these Nissan clips, and then also you'll need some rivets in this size. So we're going to start with the bracket. There's 2 slots right here and here for a couple clips. So those gray clips that I bought from Rock Auto, they go right here. And then this just snaps right in. So you just kind of give it a push, it'll clip in. It's pretty straightforward and easy. And then it has rivet points here, here, there's one over here, so there's 3 on each side. I'll show you just one of the rivet attachments here. So you will need a rivet tool as well if you don't have one. You just slide right into the hole. Make sure it goes all the way through both plastic pieces. So it looks like this. You want the end of it sticking all the way through, and then just start squeezing the rivet tool, making sure it's fully down on the pin, like that. And it'll break off, and I'll drop that pin out of there. There we go. So you want to do the same thing across the other ones. If they don't attach like this one didn't, we'll just redo it again. There's a couple items here that need to be installed. Is a screw clamp, and then also it does come with a bracket, a snap bracket here. So when you install it, put in the screw clamp here, out top, and then there's a little clip, plastic clip here that goes in the plastic housing here. And just kind of give it a little push, and then that should snap together. And then the screw goes down here. The next steps are to remove some of the fender parts so that we can get the front 2 bumpers off. I wanted to point out a couple items. One is you're going to have to remove this mud flap in order to get the inner fender liner out. In order to get the liner out, there's these plastic push pins, and sometimes they're a little bit stubborn, but they will come out, and you may break a couple, so watch out for that. Once that's out, you'll be able to get into getting a couple bolts back here on this upper bumper. They're behind the liner, and then also it makes it a lot easier to get in here. There is a air spoiler here that I'm wiggling, and then I went ahead already and took off the lower spoiler that goes across the truck, so that one's off there and sitting on the ground. What I did want to point out here is the liner that I have here on this SL only goes to here. And when you put on the plastic bumper, and I don't have one to show you, but it is supposed to go all the way down to here. And I got a couple tools here that I use to pick these plastic pins that I showed you. This kind of just gets under it, gets it started to pop it off a little bit, and this is nice to then grab the whole thing. With this tool, you won't break them as much if you're just trying to pry on one side with a flat screwdriver. Sometimes they break. And now we can start looking at some of the other parts. There is this support bracket in here, as you can see right across here. That doesn't need to be there for the plastic bumper, and that can be removed. Our next step is to remove this plastic grill. For those that want to paint the front grill, it's really easy to uninstall this. It's some plastic push pins. I'll show you on the back side where the snaps are as well, and it takes maybe about 10 minutes to do, so I'm going to show you that right now. So there's 6 of these plastic push pins up front. Side there, and then I'm going to show you down here behind the grill. There's one right there, if you can see it, that we got to get to. There's one right there, and then there's one over in that corner. If I can get that down in there. And then right there's a plastic snap. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then lightly pull this forward a bit, and then you can reach down behind a lot easier. Pins are out. Now I'm going to get the plastic clips. And what you do is just get your hand in there and push up on the clip and just kind of get those clips removed. They're attached to the top front bumper. And you'll see here in a second when we come off. And there's the plastic grill. The next thing we're going to do is remove this plastic gray piece. There's some bolts under here, there's some plastic snaps. Also I'm going to show you, I missed 2 bolts that are in the inner wheel well, and those will get removed as well. So I'll show you that. There's 4 bolts under here. I removed some of them already, but just for speed of the video. And then also around in the wheel well. There is a bolt here that needs to be removed, and a bolt back here that needs to be removed. And one right there as well. This bolt here is for the cross support member. And while we're at it, there's a plastic clip on the front, and just pull that out, place that aside. Oh, and then there's one other spot. There are snaps up under here. There is 6 of those. There is 2 more plastic pins up under here to secure this on. You need to remove this front upper bumper piece before you can get to the bolts for the chrome bumper. And what I do on this side, on both sides actually, is to pull it out a little bit before, so that the tabs come out, and then it will just fall out on its own. Is those supporting brackets that I showed you when you prep your front plastic bumper go right here. They're missing because, you know, I removed them already and put them on the plastic one-piece bumper. We're at the step of taking off the chrome bumper. So again, there's 2 bolts right here. There's 2 underneath, and I got most of those loose already. And just make sure that when you do start pulling this off, that your fog lights are unplugged so that you don't pull out the wires. And there you go. All right, the next step is to replace a front bracket for the plastic bumper, and then also to remove some brackets for the chrome bumper. And so the first one to remove, you don't actually need to remove it. It's actually going to be out of the way, but if I were to sell this chrome bumper to someone that may want to put on a chrome bumper, I'll give them the brackets as well. So these 2 pieces come out along with one of the bolt clips here. And so that piece isn't needed. As I mentioned earlier, there is a side support for the chrome bumper. If you can see that. What it does is just support the lower part of that chrome bumper that can come off as well because there's no need for it on the plastic bumper. And then the next bracket here is this one right here. There is 6 bolts on here, so this whole bracket will then come off. And then this is going to be our new bracket. Here is the model number that you'll need for the bracket, and it's just a different design than the old one. It has these upper clips here. These where the snap pins go into. There's 3 of them across here. The other one doesn't have it, and so this is where the plastic bumper is going to attach. I recommend putting this piece on now when you have the whole front end off, just because getting the things lined up, you'll have the bumper in front of it if you attach it to the bumper first. So, you know, just kind of be aware of that. Put this one on first, and then I think it'll be easier to put that front bumper on. Once you get one side kind of where you want it, you know, it's a lot easier to put at least one pin in the center, or one plastic pin in the center. And then you're going to have to line up the wings, and I'll show you that over here. The wings have these 2 male ends that need to go into holes on the fender. So, and you kind of have to finagle it a little bit and get it put up there. There's bolts that need to go in, and I'm going to put one in just to secure it. We got the bumper on. I've got a lot of pins to put back in. There's a couple spots up here that need pins, plastic pins, push pins. And then under here is where there's about 3 or 4 of them. And then there's 4 bolts underneath. And as I mentioned before, I do have to get some fender liners for the front right and left, so that they can tie in, and I'll show you that here. You can see there's attachment points down here, and then the liner goes and attaches to these points here. So I do have to make sure that I get a new liner for that. So okay, this is it. The bumper's on. I got the letters on the back. The hitch is actually put on as well. If you come up front, the front bumper's put on. So pretty much all in all, took a little bit to do to get the right parts, but it's finished up.